problem. We have medical people on standby on the sides. If you or someone around you has a problem and they're going to maybe feel faint, make sure you're seated and raise your hand. We can come over and tend to anybody who needs help, okay?
So I'm Officer Seth Tyler with the Bellevue Police Department. I've worked for Bellevue for 10 years.
And I'm Kevin Guitron. I'm a firefighter paramedic with the Bellevue Fire Department. I've been with Bellevue for 16 years. And I've been doing these drills for pretty much the entire time I've been with Bellevue. We're going to show you guys, this is a drill. But we don't consider this a drill. We don't consider this a reenactment, because this is a real thing that we have to see every year, all too often. I want you guys to watch this. I want you to think about who the people are in the cars are. And I want you to think about just the choices that are made to get you to this point.
So this program started back in the early 90s. Back then, the Bellevue Police and Fire Department responded to several serious crashes involving high school students. And there was a common theme in these crashes. That was that alcohol was involved or other drugs were involved. And so we're going to talk about a choice that you guys have to make today. You guys all have choices that you have to make. You know, what you're going to wear to school, where you're going to go to college, or what you're going to do after high school, what you want to do for work. But we're talking about a specific choice, and that is, do I get into a car with someone that I know has been drinking, or do I get into a car with a driver that I know has been smoking weed or using other drugs? And so that's the choice that we're talking about here today.
These choices are really simple to make. It's easy to make the right choice. It's really easy to make the wrong choice. We want you guys to think about that choice when you move forward. When you're watching this drill today, I want you to think about some things. I want you to think, could this happen to someone that I know? Could this happen to someone in my family? Or could this happen to you?
Imagine it's Friday night, 10:45. It's dark, and of course, the roads are wet. Matt and three of his friends are driving home. Matt hasn't been drinking or using drugs, but a car comes from the other direction. It crosses the center line of that roadway. There's an impact, and this is the result. If you're involved in a crash like this, the first thing you're going to think about is, what do I do? Where's my phone? Where am I? It's dark. I'm in an unfamiliar road. What's wrong with my friends? How can I help my friends? Should I call 911? I don't want to get anyone in trouble. What just happened?
There are a lot of people in these cars that are injured. If you ever had an injury like a broken bone, you know what it's like. It's pretty hard to focus on other people when you have a bone sticking out of your leg.
You'll notice that there's no help arrived yet. If you're involved in a crash and you're in the city of Bellevue, it's probably going to be 3 to 5 minutes before the first help arrives. If you're out somewhere outside the city, it could be a lot longer that you're going to be waiting for help.
8-1, Inj 1, Life Force 3, Medic 1, MSO 5.
So what you're hearing now is someone has called 911. The dispatcher is now starting to send help their way. But they don't even know the extent of what has happened at this point.
All they were told was that there were 2 cars that crashed. There was a witness crash. They weren't sure how many people were involved, so they're just going to send a general response. They're going to get a fire engine. They're going to get an aid car, an ambulance. Maybe a medic unit once they find out how serious this is. There are 8 patients right here that are injured, some critically injured. You can see Sharif on the hood of the car. He's been ejected out of the front window. going through that window with such force has opened up the side of his neck, and he's bleeding out right now. Alexis is lying on the side of the car. She has a major head injury. Her sister is trying to get her to wake up, but she's not waking up. Our first units, the closest units to this scene, are Bellevue patrol officers.
So these officers are going to try to help as much as they can, but they have limited medical training. There's not a whole lot they're going to do. They're basically just going to try to control this chaos here. If they can try to slow some bleeding, they're going to do that. They're going to let the dispatcher know just how bad this is, because at this point, again, they don't know what's happened. They're going to try to locate any witnesses. They're going to probably close the road. They're going to request more officers, more ambulances, paramedics to the scene once they realize how bad this is.
The number of patients is very overwhelming right here. So who should they help? Who needs the most help right now? Right now the officers are assessing Alexis. She needs CPR. He's starting compressions on her right now. That means she's dead. But she's going to require compressions to keep her heart going.
Subject strapped.
So you can see these officers are trying to help, but unfortunately, for some of these people in this crash, there's really going to be nothing that they can do.
The first fire department unit's showing up. Their job when they get here is going to be figure out who needs the most help now. Because while we're listening to the car that needs the help now, that might be dying if we don't get to him now.
Dispatch, engine 1 on scene. We got 2-car motor vehicle accident. We got multiple patients.
Jackson's been pulled aside. He's being detained by the police right now.
Establishing Bellevue command.
So the news media is listening to our radio traffic. They have a helicopter that's got a camera now on this crash. There's some parents at home that are waiting for their kids to get home. They're going to turn on the news wondering what's going on. They're going to see a car that looks pretty familiar. They're going to have no idea at this point what's happened now. There's probably going to be some social media posts going out right now. Some frantic Facebook posts, Twitter posts. Parents are going to know what's going on here. Friends are going to start realizing what's happened.
You see the fire department personnel walking around the scene. They're not helping anybody yet. Because right now they're trying to prioritize who needs the most help. They're tagging, putting armbands on to color code the patients that are most critical. People who are less injured that can wait to get help.
We have 9 patients.
You notice they walk by Sharif. Why aren't they helping Sharif?
MSO 5. DUI medical group. MSO 5 establishing medical group.
You'll see that even with as many personnel as we have at this point, there's still not enough people to help all those that are injured.
On a typical call with one patient, it would take about 4 or 5 people, maybe up to 10 people to take care of that one person. There are 8 people that need to be cared for right now. So what you see is they walked by Sharif and they decided he was what we'd say DOA, he's dead on arrival. We're going to write off, we can't do anything for him because his injuries are incompatible with life.
You're probably wondering why they haven't, why didn't they cover him with a blanket? Well, they're busy helping other people right now. Sharif's gonna stay there until the medical examiner comes out, which could be 2-3 hours. And the medical examiner puts him on in a body bag and takes him to the morgue and then notifies his parents what has happened. The entire road's gonna be closed. Accident investigators are going to come out. They're going to leave the cars exactly where they're at. They're going to leave any bodies exactly where they're at because they've got to recreate what happened and figure out how this happened. Well, how it happened was Jackson decided to get into a car when he was impaired. He's over there doing some field sobriety tests, but it doesn't look like he's doing so hot. Because of one decision that was made by Jackson, which was to get into a car and drive when he shouldn't have, this is the result.
The fire department is now working on trying to save Alexa's life. The paramedics have arrived. They're working on establishing IVs. They're going to put a breathing tube into her airway and try and give her some drugs that might get her heart going again. They're going to try and give her a chance to be alive.
If you guys don't think this happens in Bellevue, think again. Unfortunately, this happens too often in Bellevue. 3 years ago, downtown Bellevue, Northeast 10th and 102nd, motorcyclist was riding to meet his mom to have some pizza. She's sitting in the restaurant. She actually sees him ride by. Car makes a left turn right in front of him. Driver had been smoking marijuana. Motorcyclist hits the side of the car. He's dead on the side of the road. Last year, 148th and Main Street. Car going southbound on 148th, way too fast. At least twice the speed limit. Hits a light post, hits a tree, the car splits in 2 pieces. Driver's dead on the scene. This is just last year.
You guys can see Ellie's got a broken leg. She's got a bone sticking out. Not able to walk or move. That's a minor injury in the big scheme of things. Pretty minor. The worst thing for her, she's got a recovery ahead of her. She's not going to be able to play soccer. She's got plans next year to go to college, play sports. She's going to be on an injured list for a while. She won't be able to play. But think about Sharif again. He's 17. He's planning to go to college next year. I just heard the medics say that they couldn't do anything more for Alexis. So their job now is to move on to the next patient that might benefit from their help.
So Alexis is going to stay there on the side of the road until the medical examiner shows up.
The firefighters have just pulled Matt out of the vehicle. You can't see him right now. Matt was the driver of this Acura right here. You'll see in a second here, Matt has suffered a severe head injury, a very common injury in a motor vehicle accident. The injury has rendered him unconscious. He's not responding normally, and he's deteriorating. The medics have figured out that this is the next patient that needs the most care right now. They're assuming he has a neck injury as well, so they put him on a backboard to stabilize his head and neck.
C. Jackson is now being arrested for DUI, vehicular homicide ×2, vehicular assault. That's for starters. The prosecutor will figure out exactly what he's going to be charged with. Right now he's going to be taken down to the Bellevue Police Department He's going to be offered a breath test, but if he refuses, the officers are going to get a search warrant and take his blood. Because if you cause a crash like this, the law says that the police can't take your blood as evidence and will. So if they have to, they're going to hold him down, take him to Overlake Hospital, and draw his blood. He's then going to be booked into jail. If he's 18, he's going to go to the King County Jail, which is not a place you want to go, because he's going to be put into a cell with assault suspects, rape suspects. He's going to go to court.
Some of the units you guys see back here, there's a fire truck with a ladder on it. Those guys responded here because it's a rescue response, meaning someone was trapped in the vehicle as well. You may not be able to see it from up top, but there's what we call the jaws of life, the hydraulic tools to cut the cars open. Manny was stuck in the front seat of the car, not able to breathe. They were able to get the car door torn open with the hydraulic tools. They got her on a backboard now. She also has a head injury.
Think about how many lives were affected here because of one bad decision. Not just the lives of the people in the cars, but the first responders, the firefighters, the paramedics, the police officers, the parents, the siblings, family members.
There goes Jackson. He's just been arrested. I want you to think about his choice to get into that vehicle and drive that vehicle after having a few beers caused all this. So Sharif's death, that lies on Jackson there. Alexis is dead. That's also on Jackson. He was planning on going to USC next year. Study neuroscience, go pre-med. He had big plans. What's going to happen to those plans now? What's going to happen to his family?
And this is going to be just the start of Jackson's nightmare for him and his family, because in addition to the criminal liability, his family is going to be liable for all the injuries that are caused here, all the death. We're talking millions and millions of dollars. His family will be bankrupt. They'll probably have to sell their house. They're basically going to be left with nothing because of one decision that he made.
Harborview Hospital, Bellevue MSO5.
That's the medical services officer. He's going to call the major trauma center in the area
MSO5, this is Trauma Doc, go ahead.
and let them know what kind of injuries are coming their way.
Trauma Doc, at a mass casualty incident, 2-car MVA. I got 7 patients. Let me know when you're ready to copy. Trauma Doc ready. Trauma Doc, 7 patients. Patient number 1. Red patient initially performed CPR. That patient now is deceased, in custody with PD. Patient number 2, red patient, significant compound leg fracture injury. Patient number 3 is a DUI patient in custody with PD. Number 4, patient 4 is a yellow patient, leg injury and a head injury as well.
You're hearing these color coding the patients. Red means critically injured.
Patient number 5 is a yellow patient with an arm fracture. Patient number 6, red patient with a head injury. And our last patient, patient number 7, red patient with a head injury.
The yellow
At this point,
patients
almost all patients have been
are minor
transported from the
injuries.
scene. Should be arriving at
They can wait to
Harborview
be
within the
taken
next
care
10 to 15 minutes.
This is Trauma Doc. I appreciate you. Patient number 1, red, now black. Patient number 2, red patient, leg fracture. Patient number 3, DOA. Patient number 4, yellow, leg injury, head injury. Patient number 5, yellow, arm fracture. Patient number 6, red, head injury. Patient number 7, red, head injury.
That's affirmative trauma doc. We have one patient left at the scene. Should be leaving the scene within 5 minutes.
Trauma doc, copy.
Once we get all the injured patients transported, the scene is not done yet. You'll notice there's still people left on scene. They're going to be left there in place for the police to do an investigation.
So our investigators will come out, we'll interview these witnesses that saw what happened. We're going to find out where these cars were coming from. If it was a party, we're going to go to the house. We're probably going to serve some search warrants. We're going to find out who provided what to who. There's probably going to be some additional charges as a result of this. We're going to determine who was the responsible party at the house. And by responsible party, we mean who's the homeowner, because they're going to be a part of this if they provided a place. The road's going to be completely shut down on a crash like this for probably 5-6 hours while we diagram what happened, because we're going to make a three-dimensional diagram of this crash scene, not just for the court proceedings, but also for any lawsuits that arise out of this. There's going to be a lot of lawyers involved.
It's pretty tough to accept loss immediately. It takes time to accept that someone has passed away. You can hear Christine talking about her sister. I know Christine has a lot of stuff going on this week. She's got, she's playing at Carnegie Hall in 5 days. That's a pretty big deal, big deal event. But I don't think she's going to be going to Carnegie Hall at this point. She's got more pressing issues going on. She's got injuries of her own, but she hasn't even thought about them at this point.